Team is rocking and rolling. Audio in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to episode 99 of the Degenerates Clubhouse.
I was class of 99. Did you know that?
You know what? I could have guessed that because I was class of 2000,
Oh, okay.
and you graduated a year before me.
All in all, we're just another brick in the wall.
That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Mondo,
Hmm.
I have some deal breakers for you.
Oh.
But this is a special fantasy edition of Deal Breakers. So most of these deal breakers would only exist in some sort of mythological fantasy make-up-believe world. Yes, what?
Can I ask you why you decided to, you just texted me like, hey, can you come up with some...
Oh, because I felt like we were almost doing that a little bit at the end of the last episode. The last episode we watched The Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, we were talking about some multiracial, fuckery, like literal fuckery.
Yeah.
Races fucking each other. And I was like, you know what? That really feels like a segment of Deal Breakers. Let's just embrace it wholeheartedly.
Got it.
So to cap things off, I do have a racial related question, Mondo.
Oh, shit.
So in this fantasy world, you're a human. You're just Mondo.
All right.
In all these, you're Mondo. Okay.
Okay.
And the girl you're dating's father was a hobbit, and her mother was a half giant.
Was meaning they're both dead? Her parents are both dead, or is?
They're both alive.
So her mom is basically kind of like a Brienne of Tarth, like just a huge bitch.
Probably even a little bit bigger.
Okay.
I mean, like Hagrid. Hagrid was a half giant.
Yeah. Okay.
So 8-9 feet tall.
Okay.
And her dad's a hobbit.
All right.
And is Hector the well endowed, the hobbit. just to make the coupling work.
Okay.
But so she's basically just normal size.
Okay.
It's like 5'4" or whatever. But she has just extremely, extremely hairy feet.
Like hairy toes, like Hobbit hairy toes.
Correct. I mean, just completely. And she's just au natural. She doesn't want to shave.
Oh, I was gonna say
She doesn't want to shave her feet. She will shave her armpits. She will shave her legs. And she's like, no, the feet, that is part of my culture. You're not going to make me abolish my culture, Armando.
How hairy are we talking about? Like hairy, like my beard amount?
Like hobbit hairy.
Well, I don't know how hairy
like,
hobbits can be.
It's like a shag carpet on the top of her little footsies.
Oh, damn. I don't.
And she does like you to kind of like pet them and stroke them.
How about this? Does she does she like to wear open like sandals out in public?
Yeah.
Kind of. Ah, fuck.
I mean, hobbits mostly just go barefoot.
So does she go barefoot?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh man.
The look on his face, he's really struggling with this one.
Oh man, hairy feet. Is she otherwise just like cool and hot?
Uh-huh.
I guess it's not a deal breaker. And so I there was this girl when I was in I think junior high school. We were like kind of like best buds, and like her parents wanted me to hook up with her, and my parents wanted me to hook up with her. And
parents playing matchmaking.
Yeah, and
always the perfect scenario.
She was super cool, super sweet, super awesome. I thought of her as like my friend. But it wasn't a deal breaker then. But I remember specifically, like she had like hairy toes, and I forget. I'm sure I cracked a joke. She never took it like seriously. It wasn't, it wasn't Hobbit hairy. It was just like like hairy toes. I don't know, like a guy's toes, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
So I guess.
Yeah, women have hair. It's crazy. Not as much as guys, but they do.
I would suck it up. I think I would suck it up.
You'd suck the toes?
No. Oh, that would be a deal breaker. If she had the Hobbit feet and she wanted me to shrimp her, no.
That's called shrimping?
I
didn't know that one.
Like fucking picking hair out of my fucking, anyway.
It's very thick, coarse hair, though, so it'd be easy to get it out.
No, thank you.
Okay,
you're a deal breaker, sir.
Uh-huh.
She can see... In our world, there are people there are demons that like pass off as human.
Yeah.
And only she can see who's a demon, who's really human, and she has to kill a demon once a month in order to stay alive.
I mean, so 2 questions. One, like how dangerous are these demons?
They try to just blend in the world, but they do cause and create kind of mischief, and like accidents happen because of them, that kind of thing.
And is she okay for going for just the least dangerous, most easily killable demons?
She just has to kill one a month, so she's
right. But is she like, this is my given task to save the world and rid them of demon kind, and we're gonna work our way up to the demon leader and blah blah blah? Or is she just like, this little demon that looks like a do they all look like humans?
Yeah, we can't see them. It's kind of like in Resident Alien, where the one boy can see that he's an alien, but everybody else is just.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if she's down for just killing like the low tier demons, yeah, I will help her.
Nice.
I'll be your demon slaying apprentice. Do I get to like carry? Am I like a caddy or like a carry like a golf bag with some crossbows and swords and things like that?
Yeah. You're her little fucking. You're her.
I'm her demon caddy.
Yeah.
All right.
You're her Pancho.
Nice. That sounds fun. Well, Pancho Villa. Yeah.
Not Pancho Villa.
Isn't that from? Wasn't it? I thought that was his name from. Whatchamacallit?
You're talking about Don Quixote?
Yeah.
Isn't that Pancho Villa? Pancho Villa is the Mexican, like he's a historic figure.
Oh, fair enough. I got my Panchos confused.
I think it was like Pancho Sanchez, or I don't know. Whatever. It don't matter.
We'll be worrying about that for the rest of the episode. That's fine. Mondo, here's your question. She was cursed by a witch many, many years ago. She doesn't think there's a way to break the curse, and if she gets too excited or scared at any point, she shifts into a llama.
Excited or scared?
Yeah.
So excited could be like she gets in a fucking amusement park ride or something like that.
Yeah, if she's going down the roller coaster and she just didn't quite control her emotions, boom, she's a llama.
Same with like if she gets sexually excited.
Yeah, it could be.
No, I can't do that. Because if I want to have sex and she gets like really hot and heavy and she turns into a llama, I'm not fucking a llama.
I mean, you could just calm her down and then she'd turn back.
Yeah, but I kind of want her to be
a llama,
horny and excited.
Okay, well, fine. She's a goat.
No thanks.
You said horny.
No. Oh, by the way, our broski Greg says, "What's up, bros?
What's up, Greg?
What's up, Greg? My turn to you.
Yes.
She is a real vampire, meaning she's immortal.
I'm out.
And she needs to drink blood.
I'm out.
But it's sexually arousing.
I'm out.
You wouldn't be into it?
Nope. No vampires. I'm out.
Really?
Nah, that never goes well because there.
She's like a good vampire.
I think with a lot of relationships, if there's a big imbalance in the power dynamic, like they make a lot more money than you, or so it can be problematic. And them being undead and literally wanting to suck the life force out of me, I feel like that just doesn't really mesh well with the sort of vibe I'd want. Plus, like you said, she's immortal, so no, it's just it never. Name me one story where it really worked out well between humans and vampires. See, you can't exactly. Moving on.
I would have to really wrap my brain to figure something out. Your turn.
So you've been dating this girl for a while.
Okay.
And she's very nervous because she's about to turn 40, and she confesses that she comes from a family line where 50% of the family members go mad on their 40th birthdays. Like think Game of Thrones, like Mad King,
It's a for sure thing that she goes crazy, or it's like
it's like half and half.
So exactly like a Targaryen. She could either go one way, she could be really good, or she could go fucking batshit crazy.
And I added, I don't think there was like a specific age where they go nuts in Game of Thrones, but in this one, it's like when they turn 40, and so her birthday's in like a month, and she's been really stressing out about it.
I have a very low tolerance towards like drama and crazy people. So it would be like a risk I wouldn't take the risk. I wouldn't take the risk. I would even though there's a possibility that she just everything's all gravy, everything's all good. I wouldn't take the risk.
So you're just a hard pass on Daenerys Targaryen. You're like, nope, take your white hair and get the F out. And then here's the problem, Mondo. Now she's scorned. She's coming back when she turns 40 and goes mad with her dragons. I mean, this whole apartment complex burnt to the ground.
You never mentioned that she had dragons for real. You just said that she goes either crazy
Yeah,
or...
I know.
Okay, my turn. She can literally read your mind.
That's also a pass.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you,
It's like, nope.
because you can't hide anything from her. Not that you want to hide shit, but like
No,
she
I
can,
certainly want to hide stuff.
you know what I mean. Like if you're pissed, she knows why, and you know what I mean. And
Well, I think probably like 99% of the time, it wouldn't even be something nefarious or something that was really bad. It would more just be like, really? That's what you... Oh, my God, you're a fucking idiot. Like, why are you thinking about that?
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, it's all right. Okay. I don't think her opinion of me could hold up enough for that relationship to last. So, no, I'm out. Fuck that. All right. Here's one for you. Her father is a necromancer, and you keep thinking you see his reflection in the mirror in your bedroom, like when you're having sex.
remind me again. A necromancer is someone that can raise the dead or something like that.
It's very simply, it's like an evil sorcerer. So it's like a dark arts sorcerer. So he's kind of like a shady below bar sorcerer. He's definitely up to some fucked up shit. But raising the dead, that would be in his purview. And you can't quite confirm it. You're just seeing it out of the corner of your eye, but you think he's spying on you while you're banging his daughter. And you're like, and she's like, no, he's fine. Like he lets me have my space. I'm not part of the family tradition of like raising dead and making zombies. Like that's my dad's thing. But you're like, I know I saw the dickhole in the mirror.
I would think if you really have nothing to hide and you like have good intentions, that he would still spy on you, but he wouldn't be like malicious towards you.
Uh-huh.
So I think I'd be okay with it. You know what I mean? As long as I knew my intentions were good. Like, but if it was like a chick that I was just banging and that's all I wanted out of the chick, and then that's all she wanted from me, we weren't in like a really committed whatever relationship, then I might have a problem with it, because then he's gonna want to kick my ass or kill me or something.
What if you date her for a while, you don't hear anything from him, and then one day he's like, it's like, Armando, I can tell you really care for my daughter, and I think you're a hard worker with a lot of stamina. I want you to join the family business. And he wants to bring you.
He wants to make me a necromancer.
Yeah, he wants to teach you the dark arts.
That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, so this is good. You're into this. You're like banging this hot necromancer's daughter. You're gonna learn.
Hell yeah!
You're gonna learn.
Who wouldn't want super
evil spells and mysticism?
Fuck yeah!
All right. Okay, we found one I'm on a light.
All right. Here's one.
Yeah.
She has an impenetrable chastity belt, and you need to go on some kind of a quest to find the way to crack the chastity belt.
I'm down.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean,
What if it was like
quests are fun?
Like you had to like literally slay a dragon just to get in her pants?
Is it a big dragon?
Yeah.
I mean, cause look, I also have a dragon in my pants that
Stupid.
that needs to be unleashed. So a dragon for a dragon, Mondo.
All right.
And you know what? If the dragons are of equal size, this is gonna be an easy quest.
Jesus. Oh my god.
Sorry, I was proud of myself for that. Okay, last one. She's part demon, and every time you touch her, it takes 30 minutes off of your life.
Every time you touch her, it takes meaning kiss her, fuck her, whatever.
Yep. 30 minutes though. And it doesn't. It's not proportionate. It's not like you touch her for a second. If you make contact, and you could be cuddling, and if you're in contact with her for like 5 hours, that's only 30 minutes because you touched her once and then you broke contact.
Okay, but here's the thing: is you're gonna touch this chick literally every day,
Maybe.
Whether you kiss her in the morning or you hold her hand or fucking you bang in the morning and after. So literally every day you live, you're decreasing your life by an additional 30 minutes.
Yeah, at least.
And so, in a year, what's 365 times? That's like 180. It's a lot.
So say you touch her twice a day, and wait, hold on, twice a day. So that would be
No. I don't want to do it. Fuck that. No, I don't want to die because of some chick who has like some curse thing that fucks me up. No, I don't want to die.
Okay.
Wow.
Just didn't even think about it.
Last one for you, sir. She was born a shapeshifter with no real gender.
What does she identify as?
Well, when she's with you, she wants to be a girl.
Because she really gets to pick.
Yeah. When she's with you, she wants to be a girl. Like, but otherwise, she can turn into fucking a chair, a fucking wolf, a basketball, a dude.
But on the inside, she feels like a girl.
She has no real gender. She's a non-binary, blah blah blah. But she likes to be a woman when she's around you.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Okay.
It'd be really weird though, like the time where I'm out and about, like shopping, and some dude walks up. He's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And she forgets she's in dude form. I'm like, "Do I know you?" And then, I mean, that would lead to a little bit of an awkward situation. You know what? I'm fine with it though.
Wow. All right. Well, moving on to our next segment.
That's the line for me. I think we've talked about this before. Where I'm like, no, I'm not quite woke enough for, like guys that have gone through gender reassignment surgery, and they're like, no, we're like basically girl, or no, like we are women because we took the hormones. And I'm like, that's great for you. I'm glad you made that shift, but no, I'm sorry. But you know what? Shapeshifter, where like you actually are anatomically a girl. Let's go. I'm down.
So we're going a little bit
And we're back.
Yeah. Anyway, lost my train of thought.
Hinge app.
Oh yeah, so I still have the Hinge app. Every now and again, like a transgender, like a person that was a dude that is now a woman.
Yes,
will come across my thing, and I hard swipe the bad one, like no, I'm not interested, no, thank you. Like, I don't feel bad about it because I'm not into.
That's fine.
Whatever. And then secondly, very recently, a girl liked me on one of the on the app, and I'm like scrolling through her profile bio thing, and in it she says, "I'm weirdly attracted to ugly guys." so I responded back to her. I was like, I don't know if I should be flattered or offended that you liked me. Like,
Mondo, it's the second one.
Oh man,
you should be offended.
God damn it. Anyway, moving on to our next segment.
Florida man, causing mayhem when he can, driving drunk as a rule, alligators in his pool, look out, here comes the Florida man, oh,
That is the best. That is the best. Florida man. This week in Florida man. A Florida woman arrested for using rented Miami Gardens home and using it for a brothel.
As you do.
As women in Miami do. Florida woman is accused of using a rented home in Miami to operate and manage a brothel. This past Wednesday, 27-year-old lady, spelled Leidy, Naib Cabrera Gomez, was arrested for renting a home in Miami Gardens and using it as a brothel. According to a police report, Cabrera Gomez was caught after police were sent to her home after Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office Human Trafficking Task Force called a cell phone number that was listed on an adult website known for hosting ads for prostitution and sex workers.
Okay, so first of all, I mean, this Florida woman is an entrepreneur. She's renting property. She says she's managing it. I mean, she's really trying to make moves in life. So commend her on that front. And two, Mondo, is human trafficking in Florida really that big of a deal? Because I do, not to get political, but one of the Florida congressmen is currently being investigated for human trafficking of a minor and transporting her across state lines. Mm-hmm. And he's still in Congress fucking doing his thing. So, like, is this even that big of a deal?
Not in Florida. In Florida, this is tame for Florida.
This is fine. And she's a businesswoman just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Why are the cops fucking with her?
When police arrived at the home...
Mondo, why are the cops fucking with her?
I got it.
Because it's a brothel.
Oh, I got it.
They're doing a...
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
God damn it. When police arrived at the home, Cabrera Gomez met one of the cops and led him to a bedroom where another female was waiting. Local 10 News reports sex toys, lubricants, and other sex-related items were also in the room.
Oh wow! So
Very
they're
cool.
prepared. They're very.
Uh-huh.
They've got a menu. Is it like one of those vending machines where you're like, all right, it's $10 for the lube. It's if you want the lube and the giant black dildo, that's gonna be $20.
I don't know if this is a typo, but it says the women offered to have sex with the cop for $200.
Oh, she was. You know what? She was leading by example, right? She oh, good for her.
For $200.
Ooh.
After the fake deal between the woman and the cop was made, the cop called waiting officers waiting to come into the home.
To arrest them or
Yeah.
for
Florida.
It's Florida police. We don't know. They don't really specifically say. You know what? I do take issue with their business plan a little bit, though. I don't think $200 is enough. I mean, there's clearly some risks associated here. You've got overhead. You've got to pay your workers. She should have some sort. I don't know if Florida has like sex worker specific insurance plans, but she should get some sort of liability insurance. And then you have to deal with your home potentially getting raided. So I don't think $200 was enough. She really should have reevaluated a little.
Cabrera Gomez was taken into custody and could be facing a slew of charges, including deriving support from the proceeds of prostitution, unlawful use of communications device, renting a space for prostitution, maintaining a house of prostitution, and engaging in prostitution. She's not ugly. She's not hot. She's not ugly.
I mean, here's the other thing. That is a mugshot. So you have to assume that she's at least 20, 30% more attractive than that.
Yeah.
Very few people in their mugshots are just their best selves.
Yeah.
Except for that one dude. Do you know that guy I'm talking about?
Is it like the black dude with green eyes?
He's
or
like
all
light-skinned
these-
black guy with the teardrop thing.
All these women were like
that dude
fucking
was
fingering themselves. When
Incredibly good looking.
good looking dude. Anyway, that was it for Florida men. Moving on to Ask Reddit.
Reddit.
I was like, where the fuck are we? I'm toggling between like 17 screens. Anyways, Ask Reddit question number 1, Aaron.
Yes.
You wake up in your 16-year-old body and the year you were that age.
1996.
You have all of your current memories and abilities. What do you do with your life?
Wait, is that right? No, it was 1998. 1998.
Okay.
What I do with my life? I probably either drop out of school or I get an IEP because I didn't know those were a thing back then.
Yeah.
Like fuck school though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That was my feeling at the time, and then I was like, no, I'm sure when I get older I'll look back and be like, it's good that I kept up with high school.
Mm-hmm.
And in hindsight, I'm like, no, 16-year-old me was right. High school is a goddamn waste of time. But here's the very simple little life hack that I would have done back then, and I almost did. I just didn't have the capital when it was still that profitable. I would have started buying up every domain name I could, and then just sold them like 4 years later and just been stupid rich.
Like talking about like website domain names and
Yeah. So I remember. I don't know if you recall, there was a search engine called Alta Vista. And for a while it was like Yahoo was the big one, and then there was Google, and there was Alta Vista, and I think there was like one other, and those were like the 4 search engines. And when I was really, younger than 16, like 12 or 13, I realized, oh, this popular search engine does not own their own domain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna buy it. I don't think I even thought about selling it to them. I just thought, oh, this would be a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a credit card.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to figure out, Mom, I want to buy a domain name for, and then of course somebody else bought it and sold it to them for like $300,000.
Yeah, I think you told that tale once before to me, either on the podcast or in.
But yeah, back then, so maybe you don't get the Alta Vista one, but there were all kinds of good domain names that would be worth tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars now.
So you're thinking along the lines of like financially setting yourself up
For just
and fuck school, pretty much.
very, very, very low effort financially setting myself up for the rest of my life
Yeah.
with an idea that I had back then and I just did not execute.
Yeah, if I were to go back at 16 years old,
I'm getting assaulted by Mondo's puppy.
I know, what the fuck? Violet, stop it.
Kind of doing a little footsie dance.
I would not I think I would still go to high school just for the kind of socialization stuff, like friends and all that crap. But I would not have a girlfriend. I would just be fucking all kinds of girls that I knew were attracted to me. And I would also do along the lines of what your answer is. Like I wouldn't do the domain names thing, but I would like invest in companies and just go fucking all in ham on companies I knew were gonna go this way. Like,
Oh, I just didn't have money to invest.
yeah. Well, you just gotta figure a way, man.
Right, domain names. That's where it's at. Circa 1998.
Some of the answers on Reddit by other users. User LeadPaint97 writes, "Go outside more." Basically, just sat in front of my computer that year. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of people do that. User general_specific writes, 1981. "I would go insane with grief over my wife and daughter. Buy a guitar, start a metal band, and die young. Fuck it, I'm done." Okay.
Wow. So if he could go back in time, he would commit suicide.
He would not. I think the answer was like he wouldn't. Ever meet his wife and have a daughter and just kind of do the single like rock star thing. I think that's what his
Okay.
intention is.
I guess.
Stop it! Stop it! Let's violate Jesus Christ. Get out of here, you punk. These are mine, not yours. Anyway, next one that I'll read, or last one I'll read. Let's see. This was a bummer one. Nico_my true self writes, "Go to therapy and handle my depression before it gets out of hand. Everything else I do pretty much the same, just that this time I'll actually enjoy it and make some friends along the way instead of just trying to survive." Yeah, going back in time is always like one of those things that people like. If I went back in time, I would do this differently. I keep it simple. Just invest in some shit, make some money, and bang a lot, not date girls. And they're not going to marry any of these chicks anyway, so.
Financial stability and man whoring.
Hell
Mondo's new 16-year-old life
That's
plan.
the way to do it. Reddit question number 2. What are teens today not ready to hear?
The thing that I don't think they're ready to hear is, that time that you hurt your knee and then it healed in a week and you're like, oh, I'm all better. It didn't actually really heal.
Yeah.
And like 20, 25 years from now, that stupid thing that you did that you thought was all better will come back to haunt you.
Yep.
So like every dumb, like, oh, I jumped off this curb and then I hit this thing, I sprained my whatever. That never actually goes away. You only thought it did.
Yep. Teens today are not ready to hear that they are not the center of the universe. That making yourself a victim does not it doesn't get you anywhere. Like I think a lot of kids these days, victimize themselves just to kind of be unique in their own way and get offended very easily because they think that's how they can it's kind of like a reverse bullying, really.
I think they want attention.
Yeah. I think when you get to adulthood, you're going to realize like the world doesn't work that way. You still have that victim mentality when you get to like your career and all that shit, and you're not going to move up the totem pole. You're not going to be successful unless you're like in the arts or something. Then maybe you can pay the victim and do stupid shit. But Violet, you little fucking bitch. That's Violet that Aaron's holding, and she's full of energy right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's Violet. Let's see some of the Redditors have had to say. User neat_machine writes, "In 15 years, you're going to think the kids have gone too far, and they're going to think you're old-fashioned."
Accurate.
I think at every age.
Yeah, that's every generation.
I think when we get older, it's just like a thing. We start becoming more and more conservative in some ways.
Although, I would never had that worry because when I was 21, 22, I was already getting that from fucking 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you're too old. Like, you gotta cut loose, blah, blah. It's like, guys, I'm trying to go to sleep. I have a lot of things to do tomorrow. I've got chores. So I've been dealing with that since my 20s, so I'm not real worried.
User a box of fingernails writes, that dick pic you sent got screenshotted and sent to 5 other people.
No, Violet, that is a cord. Don't eat that.
No. What is that too? I don't know what that is, but anyway. Yeah. Don't send dick pics because they're not. That girl you're sending it to try to impress, she's gonna eventually just show it to her fucking girlfriends. And yeah. Aaron's helping me. We should have done this before. That's my fault. Oh well. Next time we know. Next.
Does this gate slide apart?
Side the other way, horizontally.
Huh?
Horizontally.
Like that?
There you go.
There we go.
Let's see. User Posh Spicer writes, "You won't feel different when you're older or have kids. You'll just be you. It's weird." Huh. It's kind of a silly one. Last one I will read. User Divine Trackies writes, "Everything you do as a teenager will be cringe to your children." Yeah. We become uncool.
Maybe, although the 90s are sort of coming back around in some respects. But quick question:
Okay.
have you ever sent a dick pic?
No. I don't have confidence in my dick. Like, I'd have to get it nice and beefy and hard, and then like, hey, like I just I don't have
Get some nice studio lighting.
studio lighting, like shave myself like that morning or something. And
I've never. I'm glad that despite we were really the first generation to have to deal with like social media when it was a brand new thing.
Mhm.
And even as a kid, I had the wherewithal to think like, oh, this stuff is going to be out there like forever. I mean, stuff that, I was posting on YouTube when I was 22, 23. I remember thinking like, oh, I might have to deal with this, coming back when I'm 40,
Yeah.
In a job interview or something like that. So
Yeah, I think at a much younger age, I already saw like, hey, your actions have consequences, and and so things like that, like taking a dick pic. I don't want my dick out in the internet. Like, anyway, that was it for Ask Reddit. Our last segment for the day is Binge or Purge, and we're going to be discussing the show Maid.
yes. So
Maid, M-A-I-D, by the way, not M-A-D-E.
maid is someone who cleans your house for a
Yes.
living, a
Mhm.
maid. And in this case, it's not in like a fancy French dress with like lingerie or anything like that. This is a down and dirty sort of not dirty. Calm down, guys. This is a more gritty sort of show, a little bit different than most of the things we cover. I would say tonally, the closest thing that we've reviewed to this is maybe like Mare of Easttown. But there isn't the mystery element to it so much. I mean, it's just a story of a young single mother fleeing an abusive relationship, just with really no money to her name, not a lot of assets or resources, and then it's like, how the fuck do I, navigate the world now? How does she make a living, provide for her daughter, things like that?
She also has to contend with, she's originally from Canada and she's living in the States. So not only is she from a different part of the world, like the laws and shit as far as like being a mother and the legality of like getting custody of your child, all this stuff is like, she's in the States, so all this stuff is completely foreign. It's all new to her. So she has to go through the ringer the hard way. She has to learn by trial and error in most cases. Good. It was a good show. I don't think I would have otherwise watched it on my own, but Aaron watched it. He said he wanted to cover it, so I watched it all. I thought it was pretty good, but it's a movie or it's a show, so it depicts like some pretty.
Wait, I'm confused. She was from Canada?
Yeah, she was Canadian.
Her mother wasn't.
Maybe her father was.
Okay.
Or no, not Canada. Alaska. My bad.
Yeah,
Alaska.
that's
Completely. Yeah. I just remember up north somewhere.
well, and they were even from. She moved to Alaska. They called her Alaska because she lived there with her mom in like a commune for a year.
Mm-hmm.
like one of those kind of like cults. But yeah, no, Mondo, Alaska, that's still part of the United States.
Right,
You still have got a U.S. passport and all that. So that is really, because for a second I was like, oh shit, like how is she getting all those social services and
no,
things
she's
like that?
Alaska. I fucked up. It was
I was questioning I'm like, how did I miss the fact that she was fucking Canadian that whole show? Crazy.
A. You didn't hear the part in the show where she was saying A lot. A.
I did. You know what? I did notice that, and I was just like, I guess she just likes to say A. She's trying to teach her daughter the ABCs, and she's just really stuck on that first one. Yeah. So just initial reactions, because it is very different. Like, what was your? I was actually kind of surprised you made it through the first episode. I thought you might get that far and be like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, I understood what the show was. It was trying. It had an objective. It was trying to paint a certain picture of how horrible it is to be a single mother, and all the challenges of single motherhood. Putting food on her table, finding a place to live, all this stuff, and then she has to deal with her crazy mom, her abusive-ish dad, and so it was really pouring it on, like making her a real victim to horrible circumstances.
Well, I'd say like in some cases she was a victim, but a lot of it she also did bring on herself.
Yes.
I mean that's one of the things that I actually really liked about the show. I don't think any of the characters were completely like black or white.
No.
They all had positive qualities, negative qualities. It just sort of depended what the situation was and how they came out.
Yeah.
So like for many of the conflicts, she was her own worst enemy, and if she just hadn't been an idiot, she would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some people really disliked that part of it, and I enjoyed it. I'm like, to me, it felt more real because I'm like, yeah, that is how real people are.
Yeah. They the abusive baby's daddy, like he's got his own, like he's got a bunch of shit baggage that he's got to deal with, which doesn't necessarily forgive him or give him an out to like this is why he's an abusive dickhead, but it makes you, like you said, it doesn't paint him as a completely evil tyrant dude. Like there was good intentions in him. Obviously, he really wanted his daughter to have a good life, but he had all this other shit.
Well, for example, though, so the main character of the show is played by Margaret Qualley, and that's the actress. You watch the show, so you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And her mother in the show is her mother in real life, Andie MacDowell.
Really?
Yeah, that's Andie MacDowell's daughter.
Crazy.
Even crazier that Andie MacDowell's been around forever. She's been in a ton of movies, but apparently Margaret Qualley got her that role. Like Margaret Qualley got cast, and they were trying to cast her mother, and she's like, guys, what about
my mom's real crazy? She's a fucking kook.
But not to spoil anything, but yeah, the mom in the show is bipolar, and there's one episode in particular where like shit goes down with the mom, and her typically problematic and abusive boyfriend / baby daddy. In that episode, you're like, dude, this guy's fucking killing it. Like, he's great. Like, he's this huge help. And I remember watching that. I'm like, man, that actually makes sense. Because when it comes to just being, like, a responsible, like, normal parent, he probably hasn't had anyone to really model that for him.
No.
But when it comes to dealing with fucked up shit and, like, not keeping things together when everything's falling apart, I'm like, oh, yeah, he's probably really experienced with that. And he was, he was, like, that was like his shining episode where you're like, oh, maybe this guy isn't such a douchebag.
Yeah.
So even that, I like the fact that even probably the most reprehensible character in the show, like you got moments to root for him.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone these days there's the whole cancel culture, and like people are unwilling to forgive like someone's past transgressions or whatever, and this does a pretty good job of like playing both sides of it, like where you can see this person has a redeeming qualities to them, and then but they're at the same time they do some fucked up shit. Just like you said, the girl puts herself in a lot of shitty scenarios, and you're like, you can do the right thing, and she just decides to kind of Anyway, what the mother reminded me a lot of. I forget when, but this was a much older episode of our podcast where we talked about like what was it? I think we call them energy vampires. Or like people like, and they can be. That's a perfect example of how people in your family can just drag you down. I mean, and I don't think they mean, it's not like their intention to drag you down, but just the fact that they're there and they got their own chaos going on, and then like this girl is trying to do right, and even to the point where she wants to like take care of her mother, like when she really shouldn't, stress over like where her mother's gonna live and blah 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 blah. But her mom's this one example. Like I would have 86'd. Like had I been in that situation, I would have been like, I want the best for you, mom, but like time to go. Like you just, it's a tough ask.
So, I think, in addition, I mean, obviously there is the whole motherhood aspect, but I think the show also really spoke to what it's like to be poor and how it's kind of a trap that can be hard to get out of. Because just like you're saying, there are all those things that because she grew up in poverty, it actually makes it harder to then get out of poverty.
Yeah.
Like she hasn't had certain things modeled for her. I mean, part of the reason she's poor is because her mom's fucking crazy, and like that's that kind of weight that keeps dragging her down a little bit. So on that front, there were a lot of things in the show where like I felt like I could relate to from experiences from my life.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything like that jumped out to you where you're like, oh shit, I don't know, maybe it reminded you of an experience you had or a part of your life or anything like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I directly 100% identified with the baby's daddy, but I've had things in my life where I didn't make the right choices and like I was made to look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
So that's what I related to that quite a bit, because there, like I don't think I'm a bad person, but sometimes you're put in a scenario where you're kind of like, you just make one wrong move, or you zig where you should have zagged, and then you make a dumb decision, and all of a sudden you get painted as like this bad person, like this, and it's not. That's not always the case. There's always like more. There's more to the story that only like me and whatever other person would know.
Here's the thing though. I think even if you try to view the whole show from his perspective, especially early on, I could see where he would think, "Wow, my fucking girlfriend is just being crazy," because like she's living in his trailer, and he's working.
He's working like 2 jobs. Like he's working like a lot.
And he is got a temper problem for sure, and he's violent, but he's never actually directly violent like to her. Like he doesn't hit her. He's not beating her up. There's nothing like that. Like he, the inciting incident which kind of kicks off the whole show is he smashes something glass.
I think he punches a wall or something like that.
And glass gets smashed and it like gets in the 3-year-old daughter's hair, but he doesn't actually hurt any of them.
Yeah.
And if he grew up around that all the time, he's probably a little bit numb to it, and he's not really realizing like what sort of emotional toll that's taking on his girlfriend. And he's like, what do you like? I don't hurt you. Like, I'm paying the bills. I'm giving you a place to live. I'm like doing all this to look out of your, and then you just fucking peace out and leave me high. What the hell? My girlfriend's crazy. But from her perspective, he's like, he's gonna kill me one day. Like, I gotta get out of here.
There's a lot in this show that like, it's like, if you're paying attention, it's like the characters are echoes of what they were used to. Like the main character, the main girl, the maid. There's some of that like connection between like what her mom had to deal with with her dad, and then now what she's kind of sort of subjecting her daughter to. The same thing with the baby daddy. Like he came from a relationship where like it sounds like they like the parents had alcohol issues, like problems, dependency.
Abuse.
So to him, that's like, I wouldn't say it's normalized, but it's like that's what I was accustomed. That's what I'm seeing on my day-to-day growing up and being an adult, and you end up kind of like, you want to try to break the cycle, but it's kind of hard because that's you're so You know, I used to when I was like in junior high, I was like in 6th or 5th grade. There was this girl that, like, you know, we were boyfriend girlfriend for a little bit, nothing really serious. It's like 5th, 6th grade, but I remember her dad like was physically abusive towards her mom, and here I am dating this girl, and like I was you know 16, or how old are you when you're in 6th grade? 12, 10, I don't know, and you know, you're like lovey-dovey, blah, blah, blah. Like, to her, like, I was, like, foreign to her. Like, I was, like, I'm not used to this nice treatment. Like, I'm used to seeing my dad beat the shit out of my mom. Fast forward, that same girlfriend ended up, you know, getting knocked up by some dude that was, like, has been notoriously in and out of jail, like a gangster dude, like a Mexican gangster dude, in and out of jail. I think he was abusive towards her, you know. It's sad to see that kind of shit, that people like.
Well, there's that thing, right, of like you become your parents.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of us in multiple areas, it's like you kind of do become your parents because you get those things ingrained in you and modeled for you, and then it's a function. It's like maybe you can become a little bit better than them, or in some cases you can become a little bit worse, and it's just you know, over generations you hope you can kind of improve and dig yourself out. If
you have to really acknowledge, like, you have to do like a look yourself in the mirror and acknowledge, like, oh shit, I need to break the cycle that I've, like, where I came from. I mean, I have a number of like ex-girlfriend stories where like their moms are like putting thoughts into the girls that I'm dating heads, and I'm like, oh, if you're listening to your mom, you're headed towards you're not headed in the right direction. Like, I had this one girlfriend that her mom would be like, oh, you got to date guys with money, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, really? Like, okay, well, I don't know if I want to be with you. You know what I mean? Like, if your mom's feeding this shit into your brain, it's going to seep in, and you're going to be thinking that the objective is be with a dude that's financially well off, and then dismiss, like, you know, the chance that he may be abusive, either verbally, physically, whatever. Oh, but he makes good money. Like, I don't want a chick that has that cycle through her brain, you know?
Backtracking a little bit, I do want the one part. I mean, there were many parts where I did relate to, but the one where I like viscerally felt it was she manages to get into subsidized housing, which I think the show actually did a great job of explaining how incredibly difficult that is and problematic it could be. But she like manages to get a subsidized housing that she still can't even really afford, even with it being subsidized. And then her apartment ends up having black mold. Yeah. And I've talked about it multiple times on the podcast where I got stuck in this A-frame cottage where it was not black mold, but it had mold all over it. And I just know that feeling of like I know I need to get out, but I'm fucking trapped and I don't have the money, and it was the same thing where it was like, you know, maybe if she wasn't working all the time to pay for the the apartment that had black mold in it, she could have then found an apartment that didn't have mold. But it's like that when you're poor, it's just everything is so much harder to execute and pull off. And I remember like I was like freaking out. I'm like, just get out, go to a homeless shelter, just run, get away from the moldy apartment. Or at least, you know, if she'd been a little smarter, she could have just gone and bought some cheap paint masks and had her daughter sleep in those. But that episode, out of everything in that show, I'm like, I don't like this. This is scary. It's fucking me up. Yeah. Just to close this off, did you have any favorite characters from the show?
Favorite characters from the show? Oh yeah. The earlier on, I want to say he's like Indian.
Nate.
I guess that's his name. Yeah. He's like a recent divorcee. Mm-hmm. You know, co-parenting his daughter or his son. I forget what. He had a kid.
Yeah, and he used to work in a restaurant, I think, near the bar that she and her baby daddy worked at. And he has since become an engineer and is pretty well off.
Yeah, and I knew right off the bat that he was like sweet to her, like he like really liked her, and he was trying not to make it hard, and like he empathized with her. He like saw that she was struggling, and I was like very early. I was like, girl, like I was like, go after that guy. That guy's gonna take That guy's gonna take care.
That's what her mom literally said in the show.
I was like, go after that guy. That guy's gonna take care of you. He's good to you. But again, like sometimes, and this is not a knock on. It is a knock on her. It's like you just fail to see the good thing in front of you, and you don't take that opportunity, and you decide to stick to like the baggage, the shitty.
See, I don't see that part as a failure on her side, because there's other parts where she does dumb stuff in a home that she's working in. That one was really dumb. There were like multiple things like that. The other one, I mean, she finally finds a good place to live, and then makes at the time I remember because I remember having so many struggles to find housing and things like that. And when she finally found a good one, I'm like, fuck no, I'm not bringing anyone around.
Nobody's coming.
Never.
No.
Never. So she makes some mistakes there. And that one, though, it's like she just got out of this situation where she's completely dependent on a guy, and like his whims, how everything rides on that for her well-being and her daughter's well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And, is Nate a much better option than her husband in a lot of ways? Yes, but she's still be in that same situation, and it's like she would still be dependent on him. That's I could completely understand being like, no, I don't want to just be in the same boat I was all over again with obviously like a better, more stable, less fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
But that was the one thing where I was kind of thinking about it, because I know if I was in his situation, I would have had all the same instincts he did. I'd want to help her out. I'd be like, oh, you can stay with me. You could do all this. But the one thing I was thinking, like, man, he probably could have done more to facilitate her being independent and like not actually needing him. He kept putting her in situations where she would need him, and all she really wanted was to be able to make sure that she could personally take care of her daughter, and she wasn't reliant on other people, because that had just backfired.
The problem is, as independent as she wants to be, she never really is.
No.
She never really is. Like the car that he's like, there's no strings attached to it. You can just have the car. I need you to get around. Like she still depends on that. And then there's times where like she has to depend on her staying in the same fucking van with her crazy ass mom, or moving in with her dad. So she's still dependent on other people. You're never really fully independent.
Nope.
It's and then like to your point, it's really hard to, when you're not financially well off and you come from a poverty environment, it is hard to dig yourself out, and sometimes you gotta take a handout and you gotta take someone else's charity. It is what it is.
For sure. And I think she does that, but again, I just from seeing the show from her perspective, from what she's just been through, I completely understand why she didn't want to jump back in another dependent situation. Like that, I get it. Right or wrong, like maybe at the end of the day, you should say, she should have done it. It would have been better for her kid. That was the move to make. And again, that's what her mom said. She was like, yeah, just fuck him. He's like a hot Indian guy. Go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand that.
Not that I.
You wanted to fuck him?
No. Listen, I don't think of myself as this, I have all my shit together, I have everything done, but I would like to think of myself as like that, like you said, like that dude. Like I think I'm that good dude that sometimes get passed over for, like you're just some other shitty stuff. Like you're just, it sucks.
Well, that was the real crux of it for him. He wanted to be with her. And in order to make that happen, he needed to help her get to a place where she did not have to be with him, which is like a weird dynamic. Wait, what was I gonna? I don't know. I don't know. Overall, I thought it was a really good show.
Yeah.
Despite it being about a single mother, there were a ton of things I found I could relate to it.
Yeah.
Another one separate from the mold. Dude, I don't know if you've ever had to clean out a hoarder's house, but my God. When I was like really hard up for cash, there was a job where we was paying $20 to clean out this hoarder's house, and it was like me and this like guy that was this real estate agent found a homeless guy that had been sleeping in the alley behind the house, and it was like me and him just like clearing it out. And
Wow.
oh my god, the house. Let me put it this way: the house that she had to clean out in the show was a fucking picnic compared to the one we did.
Yeah.
Because the house that we cleaned out in real life, they weren't just hoarding magazine scraps and things from the kids' life. They were hoarding food.
Yeah, I've noticed. I've seen. I don't know if have you ever run across like a hoarder car, like
Yes.
a car where someone's like
Uh-huh.
old food wrappers, old half-eaten food. Like they just don't throw anything away,
No.
like nothing, and it's just like filthy and disgusting.
And there's
and
like mice shit all through the house.
dead animals and
Oh,
shit.
it was really, really. Multiple times I'm like, oh, I'm gonna vomit right now. This
Yeah.
is rough. But
I'd be interested. I like the show. I would be interested in if they did a spin-off or like a complimentary miniseries where it was the same story, same characters, but tell it completely from the baby's daddy's perspective. You know what I mean? Where it's not because this story follows the
Mhm.
girl the whole way through, but I'd be interested to see like the story being told from the guy where you see both, like you really see both sides of it. Like yes, he fucks up a lot, but so does the baby mama.
Mhm. Yeah,
you
they
know?
both do. I mean, like I said, I think if this was all framed from his perspective, it would be a wildly different show, and you wouldn't. I mean, he's probably is fucking up a little bit more than she does, but it's not like a right or wrong, black
Yeah.
or white. It's it's both of them actually trying to do the right thing and not always succeeding. Last part. I'm sorry, I keep saying, oh, I'm gonna wrap it up, and then I'm like, one more thing. I really enjoyed two sort of directorial decisions that they made. One, there's this running thing in the show where it'll like there'll be like a little bing, like almost like a cash register bing, and then it'll show
Oh,
how
yeah,
much
yeah,
money
yeah.
she has. And in a lot of cases, I think that could have been kind of cheesy, but it really hammers home if you've ever been in that situation where
Yeah.
it's like she gets hired as the maid, and you're like, and we've got a job for you right now, and it's like, bing, $80,
Mhm.
and then it's like, but you're gonna have to buy your own supplies, bing.
Yeah.
Now it's like $30, and you're gonna have to get yourself out to this place, bing, -$15, and it's like. There is that real like fucking emotional roller coaster where you're at a store like, can I afford to buy like 2 sponges or can I only get 1 sponge?
I have to say that the last couple years that I live with my folks, like my mind worked like that. Like I would think of the money I have in my bank account, how I'm going to feed myself, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that, and like when you're not financially kind of okay, you really are crunching every dollar and penny, and there was like I got to the point where like I went to like I think it was a Wahoo's or something on Taco Tuesday just because I could feed myself 2 tacos for like $2. I was like, and so I was like budgeting everything like that. Like it was like, where am I gonna eat Wednesday? What am I like? It was really fucked up.
Dude, I was there just a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of things right now.
Well, yeah, unlike our character in Maid, I'm trying to build a house, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I need, $28,000 available for the framer. I'm gonna have to pay, the foundation company. I paid the first half of the deposit, but they're gonna have to get the second half at this date. And it's literally, I'm like, oh, I can't spend any money,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm just not gonna have enough to keep the project moving along. Because it's like at this month I need this much, this month I need this much, and the company I work for, the MMA company, hadn't paid me, and I was like, fuck, like I can't, I cannot buy gas right now.
Yeah.
But thank God in the last. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday, and just in the last couple weeks, I cut like
Several thousand.
no
Tens of thousands.
tens of. I mean, like $37,000 off the budget from. I've been. This is actually something I feel like you would see in Maid. I've been like driving all around Colorado, like scavenging lumber off of construction sites and
Yeah.
all this shit, and just that alone, I think what did I say, like $17,000 I cut
Mhm.
off what I had budgeted. So I'm like, okay, good, now I can
Yeah.
I can go buy Taco Bell and not stress about it. But the other thing I really did like about the show is they had these shots, these kind of segments that were just very. How'd you get over here, Violet?
Little shit she went underneath the.
But they were like very metaphorical. Like there was one part where like they're shooting it where she's like stuck back with her baby daddy, but the whole thing they're making it look like she's like deep in a tree trunk, like buried underground.
Yeah.
There are a lot of elements like that where again, it could have been cheesy, but I thought it was well done enough where it really, I'm like, you get that feeling of like, oh, you're like stuck and you're claustrophobic and you can't breathe, and it really, and sometimes they do the same thing to comedic effects. Sometimes they do it to make a dramatic point, but I really like that. So, okay, I swear, last time for me. This is the real end.
I have one last thing to say before we finish Maid.
Guys, we're gonna start a Maid podcast.
It was a good show. It was a good show.
If you guys don't like Degenerates Clubhouse, watch Degenerates review Maid.
Yeah.
We're gonna start breaking episode by episode. Okay, sorry, continue.
The last thing for me with Maid is the casting of the daughter. She was the fucking cutest fucking little girl. Like, it was like,
yes,
it made you be like, I made me go, "Aw, fucking cute little girl." Like, what the like, she was the cutest little fucking, like, sweetest, always happy, even when
she was the only character in the show that was not realistic.
Yeah.
There's like one part in like the first or second episode, I think it's the first episode, where she cries, and the rest of the show she's just like, "Yay, I'm just happy to I'm coughing on black mold. That's fine. I'm a happy little kid."
My favorite scene was when they're in the car and they're singing that one song. It's like a flavor. I think it's like a
Salt and Pepper
song.
Shoot.
And the little girl knows it all. I'm like, they fucking this little actress.
Yeah.
This little actress
She's
is
good.
fucking awesome. Yeah, that was the last thing for me.
So I believe this is a limited series. Unless they do your spinoff, this is probably it. For me, just a complete binge. I mean, not our normal fare, but I was really engrossed in it. I thought the characters were interesting. I mean, there's nitpicks here and there, but I mean, I complete binge, and I highly recommend Maid.
Yeah, me too. Scale of 1 to 10, what do you think?
8.5.
Okay, I was gonna say give it an 8, 7.5, 8. But yeah, it's good. It's for sure, like a must watch if you're, because it's a far take from like what you and I normally watch.
Yeah.
Where like Marvel comic book shit, like sci-fi stuff and fantasy shit, and then we watch this kind of like serious drama that's mostly a bummer. Like, most of the show is a bummer.
There were enough comedic elements though where I thought they did a good job sort of lightening things a little bit here or there.
Yeah.
I'd say like 90% drama, 10% comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good show. It's a nice change of pace, and then it makes you appreciate the dumb superhero stuff a little bit more. You're like, yeah, okay, now I don't have to feel all these emotions. I can just watch somebody smash something.
Well, that's it for me for the episode. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, sir.
My Chargers lost a heartbreaker to the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a good game, but
I'm so sad.
God damn it. Anyway, Dodgers are in the playoffs.
Amazing.
Go Dodgers. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys. Please continue to send us any segment ideas, opinions of what, you disagree with something we said, vocalize it. We like feedback from you guys. So until next week, we appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.